Welcome to the Disney Hour Express podcast. I'm Abby.
And I'm Rob. We are two hopelessly romantic Disney enthusiasts.
Sharing fun stories, secret tips, and family travel experiences.
If you are a Disney newbie, or maybe a season pass holder, we hope you find this information helpful.
We turned our love of Disney into a unique boutique travel agency that books Disney and Universal vacations.
We've got a lot of stories, so cozy on up, choose your favorite drink,
whether that be a cocktail or a hot chocolate,
and enjoy the Disney Hour Express.
Hey, babe.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Yeah. Did you miss me? It's been a whole 2 weeks.
I know. I haven't seen you in 2 weeks. That's crazy.
I don't know what happened.
I mean, at least in this forum, right? We haven't seen each other. This Abby and this Rob.
That's right.
Haven't seen each other. Things just kind of flew right by. The holidays happened.
Yeah, they did.
The holidays holidayed. And we didn't record any podcasts because we're horrible. No, we just, it was, you know what?
It was time
we
relax
needed
and chill.
Yeah, we needed some family time. And I know it seems like we prepare, or this podcast maybe does nothing. Like, we don't really need we're just coming in like
just chit-chatting away.
Does Rob even think about what he's saying before he says it? So it does. I enjoy doing it. I love doing it I
love doing it. I really missed it over the last 2 weeks. I'm excited to be here.
Yes.
I'm actually a little nervous.
It feels like the first time.
Yeah.
I can't wait to say the wrong email address again.
Oh, yeah. That was brilliant. Well, we've grown a lot in all these whole year of episodes, I think.
Yeah. You can't see it, but Abby has a new desk.
I have a new podcast setup. Remember this time last year we were I was fretting over a chair, and now I've got a whole setup. It's pretty cool.
She's got an arm. There's a mic. She looks professional. She's got
my laptop out.
A glass of vino and the water bottle.
Things are going.
I think there's going to be a picture happening.
Oh gosh!
We start talking about.
Let me fluff my hair at least for the picture.
She's a fluffer.
Well, I'm so excited because we have a lot to talk about today, but we're also going to talk about our predictions at the end, which I think is always kind of fun. Hey, Did we ever go back and listen to last year's predictions to see if we were right about anything?
Did we predict anything?
I feel like we might have.
I don't know.
Who knows?
We're going to think about that one.
I did want to start off, and I mean, one of my favorite places to poke around is Home Goods. I mean, come on. Home Goods is so fun because you can see a variety of things there, right? And some are just completely out of this world. So I happened to scroll across an advertisement at Home Goods, and they were selling they were calling it a ski lift, but you know what it really is. It's a Disney Skyliner gondola. And people were buying them and to put in their living room. And it's so cute. It was like a red outside. So imagine a
Disney Skyliner, yeah,
but just like a little bit smaller, where it just had like one bench and then a little table, and you could like close the door and be inside your Skyliner, and it had the exact like window formation that the Skyliners have. Just $14.99. We can just cough that out, right?
$14.99.
Oh, nope. A little bit up there. $1,499.
Gotcha.
But I just thought maybe we could add a little bit more to our podcast studio. A little Skyliner.
I'd like to put one of those up so that when we bring the kids down the hill to catch the bus, they can just take the little. Heidi was complaining because it's cold out. She's like, "Can we take the car down?" I'm like, no, just walk. But if we took a Skyliner down,
I mean, we'd be the talk of town for sure. Or something. I don't know. It was a cool thing to come across in all my research.
No, that's definitely. I think we should look into it.
Yeah, why not?
Let's see. Maybe we could write it off on the podcast expense.
I I can only imagine our tax account would be like, and a gondola.
No, it's actually a Skyliner. So could you put it under that?
I guess we could make it into a sound booth, but only really one of us could comfortably fit in there, I think.
All right. Well, probably you, because no one wants to listen to me.
But I don't know how I feel about all that small space. Anyways.
We're here today. News. Yeah. What we wanted to do today was kind of do like our a little bit of a year in review, and then, like as Abby said before, predictions. So we're going to start off like kind of reviewing 2023.
Oh, okay.
Right.
What are we reviewing of 2023? Because I was going to talk about what's coming up in 2024.
Oh, well, exciting. I mean,
I guess you're right. Let's roll back. What happened in 2023 that was so epic?
So, I mean, there were some epic things that were happening, and I see how some of them are going to roll right into the things that you have been.
Oh, okay. Well, tell me what you had in mind. I'd love to hear it.
In Disney lore, there's been a lot of things that have changed the way that we all think about Disney, and one of them happened in January, being that Genie Plus included free ride photos. I mean, that's huge.
That is a really big deal. I mean, come on,
that's a big deal. No, I mean, there's things like that. You know, the big thing in January was the end of Splash Mountain.
Yeah, and I'm really bummed. I'm gonna miss that. I mean, I understand we need to kind of grow and not have such yes. Yeah. We won't even go into it and all the reasons why it needed to change, but it was a nostalgic ride for me, sure.
Absolutely. And it was more than just, again, I think there was more than just that one, than just, everything that came along with Splash Mountain and the Song of the South.
Yes.
It was just the fact that also, like, no kids were watching that movie.
That's true. It wasn't,
I mean, despite the, the racism that was happening in it, no one was watching. Like, it just wasn't anything. I don't think I've ever watched it. It was just something. So going into that story was just like, what? I mean,
it just didn't make sense. But I think that we liked the story that we saw in the ride, and that's what makes you kind of attached to it. Right?
It was weird. The story was weird. I mean,
but there was turtles and
fish. Heidi on that. There's a little bunny that goes to hell, and it's being tortured, and there's a bear. I mean, there's just like I said, I went on it with Heidi. You went on it.
Yeah.
It's a strange. I'm sorry. To me, being like the mind of a kid, it was a strange ride.
Okay.
So I think this was to me, it was welcome on all fronts. I'm ready. Bring it on. And that kind of brings it into a little bit into your first note, right?
Absolutely. Okay. So, I mean, we're looking at some good changes. It's now going to be Tiana's Bayou Adventure, and they've announced that it's going to open in late 2024. Today, I watched a video that Disney released pretty recently, and it's featuring a young welder and blacksmith from New Orleans. A female, by the way, named Karina Roca. She was delightful. She was so delightful to watch in this little video. Karina was the apprentice who forged. Now, this is going to be weird if you don't watch the video and you're like, why is she talking about this? She forged the weather vane for Tiana's Bayou Adventure. Okay, so now this is a weather vane. If you don't know, it goes on top of your house, and when the wind blows, traditionally, and that's not what this weather vane seems to do, but traditionally it would kind of show you which way the wind is blowing.
The direction. Yeah.
Now, this weather vane is it's tall, I'd say, a couple of feet tall, and it seems to have 3 different segments to it. Okay. And she expressed that this whole weather vane, it was really a labor of love because it was amplifying the message of the love that her ancestors, her New Orleanian ancestors, have given us, and she meant us as in everyone, these three symbols through ironwork for so long. Mm-hmm. So the top symbol on this weather vane is a symbol of endurance. And it's kind of after a fern plant. And fern plants are known to be very... they have a lot of endurance. I can't think of the word right now, but they can grow and thrive in any environment. Okay. Which is really cool. So it's got kind of the fern leaves that are curled. And then the center symbol is of divinity of Mother Earth. And it's a depiction of an old saying, as above, so below. And it was so beautiful how she described how a tree can be so beautiful above. And you're thinking how gorgeous this tree is. And you can't even see the amounts of wondrous beauty that happen underneath the ground with the roots of the tree. And I was like, wow. And just thinking of that gives me the chills. So as above, so below. And then the bottom symbol on this weather vane looks like what you would think looks like a heart. I don't recall what she really called it, but it's a depiction of actually a bird looking back to its tail, almost as if it's looking back into its past. So it's honoring its ancestry. So the three symbols together, you wouldn't even notice that these are three symbols. You would just think that it's a beautiful design for this weather vane, but it was so thought through and done by hand and so beautiful. It's amazing to me. And this is exactly what Disney wanted in his creations. Everything was so well thought out and planned and purposeful. And I think that's awesome. So I'm so excited to see it with my own eyes. It just went in recently and can't wait.
Well, I love weather talk and I love weather vanes.
And plants and all sorts of
plants. And no, it looks like it's going to be really well done. And I'm looking forward to going on that ride. Mm-hmm. Even though, again, in my mind, Princess and the Frog, again, isn't kind of a story that's not as popular of all the stories. It's but I like that they're bringing Tiana as a good princess.
Yes.
It's a good story, and I think it's marketable, and it's one of those things that should be around as opposed to the Song of the South.
Yes, you're right. And I love that Tiana, I feel like this story has grown on us, right? Mm-hmm. I always, it was a good story to begin with, but I don't know that it got the traction that we were thinking of. But as these things develop, and of course we have to keep in mind Walt Disney's love for New Orleans and for steamboats and for all things, the food and the wonderfulness of that city. So that this story is growing on us and it's bringing on a whole New Orleans type square to Walt Disney World, which was what Walt had in Disneyland. So it's kind of very cool that it's all coming together here.
That's true. I wish I knew someone from New Orleans.
You don't know anybody. In any case, what else do you...
so we're going back...
have
other
from
things
your
happened.
2023 roundup.
We had things like, Woody's Roundup Rodeo opened in March, right? That was a big deal. Mm-hmm. We ended the 18 months of the 50th anniversary of Disney World. That ended. Mm-hmm. So we got the tail end of that. April was a pretty big month, right? They saw, it was Happily Ever After officially returned. Harmonious. It was the end of the Harmonious and the barges leaving.
Yeah, that was a big deal, I think.
Right, and it brought back Epcot Forever, which didn't last forever. And then, of course, the highly anticipated, we waited 5 years for this in the making, Tron opened.
Yeah.
Right? It finally opened in Disney World. It's been opened at other parks around the world, but Tron finally opened.
Yep.
It opened. Yep. Exactly.
I know.
And people are still going to it. We currently have one of our FDP travel specialists, Dylan, is down there now doing the Disney. She just did she completed the Disney World 10K today.
Yes.
Right. And she had
I don't know how she's still going, man.
And then she went and toured a bunch of resorts, and she was eating and I guess that's what happens when you're in your 20s, right? You're able to do stuff like that still.
Yes, but she was up. The reason why we bring her up is because yesterday she was asking us to get her virtual queue because she was on a flight and couldn't do it. So we were logged into her account and we actually couldn't get the virtual queue either. Yeah. But we were also just kind of like, hey, buddy, Tron.
Yeah, I know.
Like, don't be too disappointed. So, but it is, I can see as an agent, it's something you want to do at least once. While you're there.
Our official standpoint, and we even said it on our special, like when we did our AEP trip, and we went. It's worth it to get the lightning lane.
Yes,
it's worth it to get the lightning lane. It was like $20. Like just reserve the time. You get to skip the standby line because even the virtual queue has a standby line.
Yeah, so this was the way to kind of bypass the line, and that line was long, man. That was really long for less than a minute ride.
Especially if it's like if you're coming during the hot summer months and stuff. It's kind of exposed. So anyway, not to talk too long about Tron, but that's our
roundup on that.
So people are still going on it, and they're still taking all the virtual queue. Then it was, we also had things. There was kind of something big that closed that kind of came and went before we even got a chance to know it. Got a chance to.
I feel like I hear sad music in my head every time we talk about this.
Definitely, but the Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser cruised its final crusade.
Voyage.
Its final travels throughout the galaxy, and that was, as a Star Wars fan, it was big news when it came about. I was looking forward to it. I said, eventually, I'm going to get there when I save my shekels, and just it never was meant to be.
Sadly, it wasn't, but I think. I'm not going to say it. Okay. Prediction 2024. All
right. We'll wait. But for now, we'll pour a little out for our friend.
Yeah.
The Star Cruiser. But with that being said, and I'll just interweave a little bit of my Disney news as it was going around. They just announced that they are opening Star Wars Galaxy's Edge private photo shoots.
Yes, I saw that.
You could do those at Hollywood Studios. Now, the Star Cruiser itself you were able to get a private photo shoot.
No way.
You were there when you were a guest. You were able to get like a little photo shoot, in costume or whatever it was.
Okay.
But now they're offering it to anyone.
Okay, cool.
Right? It's part of that. Like Disney has this whole thing like capture your moment.
Yes.
Photo shoots, and you could do it for different reasons. If you're getting engaged or whatever, they'll have professional photographers and capture that actual moment. But you could do it for just things like around Galaxy's Edge. So it cost $99, and it can include up to 8 guests. The photos themselves are not included with the price of the session, but you can access them with things like Disney Photo Pass, such as you get Memory Maker. You can then see everyone. You can get your photos and download them and do what you need to.
It's the best. It's such a good thing.
Getting like this private photo shoot, if you're a big Star Wars nerd like myself, it's pretty cool. I mean, there's Photo Pass, experiences all around the park, and you can do those, and I don't know, that'd be something we might be looking into.
I agree. Well,
we like professional photos.
I know. I'm the worst at.
Abby's a great photographer of taking a plethora of photos.
I do take a lot, but if I'm in them, I get a little like,
she critiques them.
Let's not use that one.
Yeah.
The dilemma of Christmas cards. Do we need to go into that?
Oh boy.
What else you got?
Yeah, then there was, of course we had I'm not just talking about the country bears, but there was an actual bear.
Yeah. That was like a wee little bear.
That was a big breaking news,
In the tree.
There was a bear in a tree, and it closed down the park for like a couple hours, and everyone talked about it.
That's right.
So moving right along to October, we had the debut of Moana, the much awaited Moana Journey of Water,
where we tried to climb over a fence.
Yeah, we were there. We were trying to I was risking injury to lean over to get a little something.
Photo, like all good media people do. Everybody loves this. Every travel specialist that is going absolutely loves this.
Yep.
So it's a cool thing.
Yeah. No, we'll be checking it out when we go.
Yeah.
On our trip. Looking forward to that. Another like semi big news, not really, especially because of when it happened. Hatbox Ghost came over to the Haunted Mansion,
and it
happened in November.
Like the end of November.
Yeah, like not even like
Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, here's the Hatbox Ghost. So strange.
And
Disney.
Merry Christmas.
So strange.
The worst. I don't know. What do you do about that?
In addition, they also debuted a new holiday theme party, right? Jollywood Nights debuted in November at Hollywood Studios.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, and that really, then there's construction that was happening at Epcot.
So much construction.
That they finally started taking the walls came down.
Mm-hmm.
Take the walls down. That's what I'm talking about. This is definitely, it's nothing. We're not talking Berlin Wall. It's nothing as monumental as that. But these walls coming down also were a big deal. And you could kind of start to enjoy the beginning of walking into Epcot again, past the Journey of Water.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a little bit of the the Disney World, Walt Disney World Resort kind of 2024.
That's right. And we can't forget that one of the restaurants we visited, Roundup Rodeo BBQ, that was actually new in 2023, in the spring of 2023. So we were pretty lucky to get on in there as soon as we did. Now, I've already heard that they're changing up their menu a lot. And it was so funny because we had a big travel agent chat about Roundup Rodeo BBQ of everybody asking like what they thought and stuff. And one person's like, hey, my husband makes really good BBQ. We don't need to go to this. And then I said, yeah, there's actually nothing that my kids really eat on this menu. So we were kind of like, it's a cute thing, but we were better off at CRT actually, because our kids actually ate the meals. Same with Akrush. I can never say that, as the kids didn't really eat anything well because they're kids. Because they're kids. They eat like 4 things.
They ate enough.
So we were talking about that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I kind of like the
did you like
Roundup Rodeo. Yeah, I kind of liked it, especially being a vegetarian. I got to eat some like fake barbecue food. It was worth it for me. I enjoyed it. I'm one. Count me in.
Okay, if you say so.
I stand with Woody.
They had a ton of restaurants open up in Disney Springs. I'm not going to go through all of them, but they're all good. Good, yummy food over there.
Okay.
But I guess that's our roundup for 2023. We've got a lot coming in 2024.
Yes.
But a lot of it doesn't have specific dates, which really bums me out.
Coming soon, TM, right?
Yeah, like by late 2024 or sometime in 2024. But the one thing we can be definite about is that January 9th, no more park reservations for date-based ticket holders. Wow, that's very cool. But also a little scary. I mean, when we get to max capacity and stuff, how does that really work out?
Yeah.
I'm sure they've thought of it ahead of time, I hope. And annual pass holders, they do still need to make reservations, but they do have dates that are called good to go days where they don't need to make reservations. You can just show up.
See?
So that's cool.
No, that's true. That's pretty cool. And that's like you were just talking about the capacity at the parks. It just so happened that again today, for the second time ever since they released this, the multiple park option Genie Plus, it sold out. Right? Again today. So it happened earlier in the week and then it happened again today. So just showing you that there's a lot of people going to the parks right now.
Yeah, especially because of the race weekend. They've got one more race tomorrow.
Yes.
So I think people are all over the place for sure.
And I think it's a half marathon, but it looks like they had to cut the course short. It's no longer going to be a half marathon.
Oh.
It looks like something due to, they're expecting some weather down there, and they actually had to cut it down.
Oh.
So
I hope that doesn't disappoint some runners.
Yeah, but half marathons are tough.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's wonderful. Good for them. Well, January 9th, the 2 p.m. park hopping rules are going to be lifted, and you can just hop whenever you want. So you can go to Magic Kingdom for breakfast, then go on over to Epcot and drink around the world at 11 a.m. Whatever you want to do.
I'm into it.
So, yeah, we are, after, what is this, 4 years of COVID restrictions, we are now finally getting back to how things used to be, which is very different.
The chaos of park hopping.
And also on January 9th, Disney Dining Plan is back, people. And I'm sure if you are on this earth, you've heard about the Disney Dining Plan discounts coming out this summer. So
everyone's heard about them.
Yeah. I mean, very exciting things. I felt like this, what a good move for Disney, because it gives so much leverage for a trip. I've had multiple people reach out to me that weren't planning on going on a trip this year, and now with this, they're like, absolutely, there's just no reason not to. So
this is true.
Yeah, very, very cool. So what else have we got going on? I mean, you know a lot more probably about this next one than I do.
What else do we have going on?
In the spring of 2024.
Oh, yes. There we are. I was looking up something else on my computer, and she's moving on to the next point. It was the spring of 2024. Star Tours will be coming out with new adventures. They're going to show, I think it's 10 new different scenarios that you're going to see if you go on a Star Tours, and that's kind of needed, right? It's
well, isn't this too? Are they featuring our favorite Ahsoka?
Well, I think,
or is that something different?
I think it's one of them at least, maybe multiples of them. I didn't know exactly what. I didn't hear anything like exactly what the adventures are going to be or how they're going to differentiate, but. Have you heard something about Ahsoka?
No. That's why I'm saying you probably know more about this one than I do. No. Now, Star Tours, I thought it was really cool to see how this ride was made. It's definitely an older ride.
Okay.
But on that Disney show, I forget what it's called, where they show you how the rides are made and when they were made. They showed this one, and it's definitely an older ride, but it's again nostalgia, and which I think a lot of Disney is for all of us. It's just such a childhood friendly place. So I'm excited to see kind of a revamp of it, see what they've got going on for these new ones. Now, this next one I was a little confused about. In the fall of 2024, Country Bear Jamboree is going to be all updated, and it's being worked on right now. And apparently they're having like a blast doing it. They keep releasing little footage of them singing the new songs, and the bears are being remade, I guess, to be more modern day, electronics creepy. Internally.
Less creepy.
Yeah. But, I'm not sure that I ever thought the Country Bear Jamborees was ever actually in. So I don't know. That's kind of like a weird update. But if they're having fun doing it and they think it's going to bring in more client likes, I mean, sure.
I always feel like that, whenever you're going through there, whenever you're walking through Frontierland, they're just kind of like looking at that, be like, hey kids, look, shooting gallery. The bears are in there. We're not going to go. Don't worry about that. We're not going to go there.
There's nothing in there, guys. Just keep on walking. High knees.
Also, don't look at the Hall of Presidents. See,
but I like the Hall of Presidents. I haven't been in like a decade because nobody likes it but me. I don't even remember what's in there anymore.
Yeah. You know what? I heard they have presidents in there.
No way.
Yeah. Ugh.
They have Obama. I want to see Obama.
Yeah, no, that's true. But yikes. After that. Okay, let's...
Fall 2024. This is kind of exciting. The Voyage of the Little Mermaid, it has been closed down for forever. And it's going to return as an updated show called The Little Mermaid, a musical adventure. So I have a feeling they're going to add some of the new tunes, which, you know, what is it called? The... Shuttlebutt or Scuttlebutt.
Scuttlebutt.
I'm like, Shuttlebutt? I would love that song to be in it. Like, everybody loves that song.
Yeah, especially when our kids listen to it over and over again. Just multiple times, you know, several thousand times in a row. Yes, definitely. I want to hear the Scuttlebutt.
Scuttlebutt.
Yeah.
Okay, so, you know, and then at some point in 2024, the Communicore Hall and Plaza will open up. And what in the world is the Communicore Hall and Plaza?
It is an event area for shows to happen and concerts besides at the what's it, the stages of the American
or something. Yes. It's beautiful. All the drawings and draw-ups or whatever of this area. So I hope that it does open. I hope it's as amazing as they say it is. Hey, speaking of that, I was just thinking of like new things that are happening.
Oh, this is on the fly.
Did you know this is on the fly? Happens. I didn't write about this because this is like, wow. And I didn't do any research on it either. So,
wow, we really are new territory. 2024.
Flamingo Crossing. This is where the DCP students usually stay. Okay. So Disney College Program kiddos. I say kiddos, but they're college students, so they're not kids.
They're kids to us.
They're young adults. This is where they stay, and they have to pay a pretty penny to stay there. And now they are opening up Flamingo Crossing to allow for just workers or employees of Disney to live.
Okay.
I think that's so interesting because as a college student, I think, or at least a young college student, I think my parents would probably not be okay with me living outside of like a dorm or apartment type area with other people who might be lots older and all sorts of things. So they're just like mixing stuff up. I don't know. Maybe they would be fine. Maybe they're like, you're old.
As opposed to
do your own thing.
Living with a bunch of, 20-year-olds that are out to party hard
in the nights. We've heard things about the pool life over there. But I mean, it's a beautiful place. I've seen lots of pictures. It's a beautiful place to live. You think about all the amenities that you have. You're right next to Disney. You have a beautiful pool that's maintained. You have outdoor games that are maintained, an eating hall. All sorts of things, but it is an interesting concept that you can be a traditional employee at Disney and now have an option for housing. It's interesting.
And that's the Scuttlebutt on Swan's Crossing. Is that what?
Flamingo. But anyways, Communicore somehow made me think of that.
I got it. I don't.
We've got a couple new DVC areas in 2024, which, caused a lot of commotion because they're taking out perfectly beautiful cabins at the Fort Wilderness and putting in new gorgeous DVC cabins that are going to open in summer of 2024. These cabins are so nice. But it is sad that we are losing so much space, I think, to DVC. Although, it is what it is. When they're open to others, but it's just making it more like exclusive so that as a regular visitor, you're going to be shuffled towards the more like all-star hotels in that area rather than these higher end hotels that are resorts, I should say, that we love to go to the higher end resorts and we don't want to be shuffled out of them, and we also are not DVC members. So
but it does seem like through I see more and more like through third party businesses that basically allow you to rent out DVC properties.
And, we've had people recently do that we know, and it's turned out perfectly fine. But there are details to it. Like you can't do that $200 deposit and then pay the rest 30 days out. You have to pay it all when you're going to book it. Gotcha. And so that's something that you got to keep in mind. Are you ready to throw out all that money? And I've gone on the website a little bit, and it just isn't as seamless. But again, everybody who's done it has had great success, has loved it. So,
well, I got good news for you is that I don't have the money to pay for it anyway, even when I do go on the trip. And after I put that $200 down, it's like, yeah, whatever.
We'll just nickel and dime until then. It's PB&J or Sun Butter and J, everyone.
Exactly. Ramen all around.
So they also have the DVC tower that's being currently built still over at the Polynesian. And it's kind of an eyesore right now. You see it from the monorail or even when you're over there. So that's been kind of a bummer of 2023, because when you're looking at the monorail or you're over there, you want to see like this beautiful Polynesian resort, like glamorous. But in any case, it's coming into late 2024. So
we love some glamour. So over in Animal Kingdom, right? What else?
Oh, yeah. So that dino area is going to close I believe it's this fall, but I'm a little unclear about that date.
Yes.
And perhaps the update of the Indiana Jones, or so they were saying, is going to go in there, which I find very curious, because I'm not sure that all these kiddos really watch Indy like we did.
And so that's the thing, right? It's Indiana Jones, who I love. We have a poster hanging up right outside of our bedroom. Indiana Jones. Do. I have Indiana Jones Mickey ears. Seen all the movies, love them. I dressed up as Indiana Jones Halloween, but it's essentially now with the Dial of Destiny, pretty much being a big flop this past year, and with Harrison Ford just being what?
I really didn't think it was that bad. I said, it was like it hit all the buttons of what you wanted in a movie.
Yeah, I guess, it happened. It was a movie. But it's essentially, right, Harrison Ford's, essentially at the end of, he's very up there in age. I mean, he's in his 70s. It's at the end of the Indiana Jones franchise, unless they're going to try to figure out how to reboot it in like 5 years or so from now. But it's not going to be the same. And so it's kind of interesting that they would put even if it's basically just the same ride that's over in Disneyland, being retrofitted into the dinosaur ride, which was, outdated in its own with the Felicia Rashad introductory movie coming into it.
Yeah,
it's a curious placement. They're going to do that.
Yeah, it is curious.
I know. Look, again, love the Indiana Jones stunt show. Never want that to leave. But like our kids had no idea, what's that boulder about? What's this fight? Why is, Indy pull out his gun after this guy's swinging a sword? And what's the significance of that? No idea. That,
It's a good show.
They still enjoyed it.
They love it. Well, okay. Imagineering is gutting Animal Kingdom's Tree of Life and officially exterminating the Bugs Life indoor theater show. I mean, we didn't really like that show very much anyway.
No, especially Bailey.
I liked it when I was younger. I thought it was interesting. And I liked the movie. So, but I don't think our kids have ever seen the movie.
Okay. So it's going to be really tough to be a bug now.
And then, of course, we were talking about Tiana's Bayou Adventure. And that's going to open, they're saying, in late 2024. And everybody's waiting for this one. We're really waiting for it. So I don't know, that whole late 2024.
I gotta get some beignets.
But what I was really excited about that I didn't really know too much about is that Picos Bill, which is right in that area, is going to be a Tiana themed restaurant, and that's across from Tiana's Bayou Adventure. I'm really excited for that. I know we've talked a little bit about it and whatnot, but like, this is a big deal. I'm ready for that.
We're talking about beignets in the parks. Let's do it.
I'm all about it. You know what? I looked up the Mickey beignet recipe, and I think we're gonna make some this weekend.
Oh, really?
It takes a little bit of time, but I'm excited. I like making beignets. I don't know that I've ever made them for you, but I've made them in the past.
I am. All I can say is beignet.
Yay!
Oh boy!
Why not?
Okay, show's over.
Oh,
I'm leaving.
Well, then we've got the Disney Cruise Line. They're bringing out the Treasure. It's going to be debuted in December 2024, which is going to be amazing. I mean, everybody was going nuts when the reservations for this opened. Yeah. So, yeah, it's going to be great.
People love their Disney cruise. We still have yet to book ours.
That's true. That's true. One day we will.
We will.
I'm gonna work on the passports first. I think that's my biggest struggle, is like every time I get the paperwork, I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. And then I don't do it.
It's a lot.
It's just the paperwork, man.
It's a lot. No deal. Bring kids around, pictures.
Plus, I gotta, our passports are expired, all sorts of things.
Yeah, I know.
But we'll get there, and I'm so excited for it.
We will.
For Disney Cruise Lines, they have a new retreat on the island of. Yep, I'm not even gonna try that.
Eleuthera, yeah,
in the Bahamas.
All right.
Disney Lookout Cay will open this summer. Again, everybody's so excited about this whole new little adventure park. So Adventures by Disney is expanding to Colombia in 2024, which I think was inspired by Encanto. So that's very cool. And then D23.
Not by the show Narcos, or
I know. Every time I say, I'm like,
Medellin, all right.
Huh? Yeah. And then D23 is going to be over in Anaheim this year.
Boo! Oh, no, that's all right. We like Anaheim.
Yeah, we do love Anaheim, but yeah, it's too far for us to think about going. But maybe the following year we'll see D23 over here. So what do you think? That's kind of our what's going on of the confirmed, not so confirmed dates of 2024, but it's a lot of stuff. Now, of course, they're letting out amazing deals. One of them that was released this week was the free dining plan when you book for July, August, or September. Of course, always certain dates in there that don't count, but and this is for Disney Plus subscribers. You have to have a Disney Plus subscription. Now, I just have to say you have to have it active throughout your trip. We've had that in the past where some cancel it before and they're like, but I was a Disney Plus subscriber at the time in which I booked this trip. So you've got to have an active subscription and
just hang on to it. Find something else to watch.
Why not? There's so many things to watch there. But that's a huge deal. You also, I believe the deal is it 4 nights or is it 5 nights and 5 days? I think it's probably 4 nights and 4 days. That's how the minimum amount that you have to stay in the park for.
Yes.
The free dining.
So, watch Alice in Wonderland one more time. Even if you don't want to.
So weird.
we had our kids, we were doing a movie nights on New Year's weekend, because our kids were sick and we were home. So we were just trying to do something. And so we let each kid choose a movie on a night, and I forget what Bailey chose.
She chose the second Lilo and Stitch because she thought that Angel was going to be in it. Angel is like Stitch's
this main squeeze.
Apparently she's everyone's main squeeze. If you watch the movie, it's kind of weird.
What do you mean? But, she's saying she's a...
Oh, sorry, but she actually wasn't in the second movie, and I think that was the problem with it. Bailey was looking forward to seeing her in it, and she wasn't. So she's actually in the show.
And I wasn't looking forward to seeing that movie at all because it was not good.
Well, with the second, they're not that great.
It was. Ooh. So anyway, so then the next night, Heidi got to choose, and she chose Alice in Wonderland.
That's right, she did.
Which also is weird.
It's weird. You know, I don't mind watching this movie because I feel like you see something new every time you see it. But it is quite a weird movie and she loves it. This year, she got a ton of Alice in Wonderland stuff. Even when I was doing my like TJ Maxx shopping, I came across this beautiful purse that had Alice on it from Alice in Wonderland. And so she was a lucky girl this year. There was seemed to be the thing.
TJ Maxx, Home Goods.
Yeah.
You kind of seen a
Do you
trend
see a pattern here?
Yeah. But yes, no. So and that was all due. You know, Bailey had gotten a bunch of Stitch stuff because she's grown fond of Stitch. The second half of this year. So yeah, she was big into that.
Yep.
And then Heidi, Alice in Wonderland. But that was just so. There's always something you could find on Disney Plus to keep you occupied.
Absolutely. And they've got a lot of older movies there too. So listen, we want to do our predictions for 2024. What do you got, babe?
Well, I'm actually, the first thing I'm going to do is jump all the way ahead to 2026.
What? Why would you do that?
Because that's when the next 3 Star Wars movies are supposed to start coming out.
Oh, well, that's exciting.
That's
news.
Kind of more like the news, like what we already know is exciting. So I'm kind of like going back a little bit and not really doing the predictions. But that's part of it is that there's supposed to be 3 new Star Wars movies coming out. They had release dates, just kind of generic days. They didn't say what day or which movie is going to come out what. But first one's coming out. The next Star Wars movie is going to come out May 22nd, 2026. There's going to be one in December 2026, and then a year later, again in 2027 in December. Once again, the 3 movies that we kind of are confirmed right now are one's supposed to be a Rey movie, a continuing of the much maligned, much talked about, the trilogy that just ended it all, the last of the Skywalker saga. So Rey is supposed to be like a continuation of Rey trying to rebuild the Jedis from there. There's also going to be one that's going to be taking us all the way back to like the Knights of the Old Republic or like the beginning of the Jedi, like a newer story that people don't know about, which is actually something kind of interesting. And then the third one is going to be a kind of a roundup of all of the Disney plus the Disney Star Wars TV shows. So The Mandalorian, Ahsoka, Boba Fett. Obviously, you're going to have Baby Yoda's on there. We're going to have Grogu himself. And on the big screen, right? We're going to see that little guy and his big eyes. I mean, I'll be a happy camper when that happens. But it's also very far out, right? So there's some time. So part of my predictions are that we're going to I think they said that they're already going to do Ahsoka 2, a second season of Ahsoka. So we have time, right? Because it's 2024, so you expect to see more of this in 2025. I think there's going to be one more final season of The Mandalorian.
Yes.
So, that's my prediction. And I don't know of anything else right now that they're doing. I don't think they're planning on doing another Boba Fett. Because that was like they really had to bring Mandalorian in to make Boba Fett kind of work. And so that's just kind of my predictions. There's some other things. Taika Waititi's supposed to do a Star Wars movie at some point, but I mean, we're talking way out there. I think you will continue to see a presence of Star Wars in the parks. I just don't know. I'm hoping they kind of rework the Galactic Star Cruiser, but into like a regular hotel without the immersive experience, but just somewhere cool that you can stay.
Yeah.
And enjoy it. But I know I have to.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I got to figure things out. So.
That's amazing. I like that Star Wars news. Very cool, babe.
Okay. So now the predictions.
But you're not allowed to read my predictions. So I hope that you didn't.
I didn't.
I drew a line in our notes and I said, Rob, do not read below this line. Do we trust that he didn't?
Nope.
Who knows? All right.
Okay.
Well, give me one. What's your 2024 prediction?
My 2024 prediction is that Disney is going to start work on another theme park.
Interesting to kind of, excuse me, to compete with Epic Universe kind of thing.
I think so. So now one of the things that kind of came out at the end of D23 was that they said that they were going to they had like $60 billion over the next 10 years that they're going to invest in Disney parks around the world.
Wow.
$60 billion. Now, with that being said, they also said that in Florida, they have over 1,000 acres of land that's undeveloped. Now, obviously, there's Disney's big into conservation and stuff, so they're going to keep a lot of it as natural land, but they also have room where they could fit more things. They said essentially 1,000 acres would fit like something like 7 theme parks. They could fit into that. I think if they do one more.
Yeah, well, I think they should.
So
they'll keep us coming back.
My prediction is that there's going to be another land. Now, as to what it can be, only only Walt knows, really. Right?
Frozen Walt.
Yeah, he left something in his. I'm sure there's something in there, like he says, you must build it, and they will come.
That's true. He might have left a map out for them, being like, this is in, your 100-year plan that you need to kind of follow to keep current. It's true. Could be. Well, mine's not as exciting as yours. Okay. One of my predictions, and I have a few, is, Communicore Plaza that we were just talking about. I think that it's not going to be late 2024. I think they're going to open by the Flower and Garden Festival, because this is a big, like how they have like Garden Rock concerts and stuff. They're going to want to show their new concerts over at their new stage and area. And if they open up this area with all sorts of different topiaries and fun things, I could really see it happening.
We're talking taupes?
We're talking taupes. I think the taupes are going to bring the Communicore Plaza to life.
Well, that is amazing.
What do you have? You have another one?
Did I have another one? I think that Disney is going to have another Halloween themed event at a different park. I think they're going to announce it.
What do you mean by that?
I mean that beyond Mickey's very merry, very scary Halloween party, I think they're going to do it. Like we talked about it. We had another, we talked about like what would another Halloween party look like in Disney. And I think it's actually going to happen this year.
Interesting, but where do you think it might be?
Oh, it could happen. Like we talked about, it could happen at any of them.
Well, okay.
All right. I think maybe besides Epcot, I could see them doing something at Animal Kingdom, or I could see them doing something.
Yeah.
Maybe they wouldn't do it in Hollywood. I don't know. Animal Kingdom seems ripe for something.
It does, because it's got like glow in the dark areas and it's got like beautiful night lighting. So,
but then it's just like they don't like keeping it open late because of the animals and stuff. And so I don't know. I don't know, but I could definitely see them want to expand it. I think they understand that that's like a big, these limited or special ticketed events are like a big, obviously. I'm sure
they're a huge draw. I mean, they opened up their after hours and everything.
Essentially, they have people buy tickets for the day beforehand, and then they could they're basically charge them another ticket for just for 5 like hours a night. So,
yeah, it's a big deal.
Yeah.
Okay, so my adventure for Tiana Bayou's adventure. Did I say adventure twice?
You did. Your adventures for
Tiana's prediction, not adventure, for Tiana's Bayou adventure is that it's going to open in early summer. I really think they're going to open it in the heat. And like, I know they said this was another one that they were saying late 2024. Okay. They've got to open it in the summer. There's just no way.
Got it.
We're going to keep it close. It looks like it's getting close. I think if they hustle, come on.
You think they want to rush it out? I don't know. I mean, look how long it took them to get Tron out. 5 years.
I understand, but Tron was like a little bit more, I think, electrical. There wasn't like they had to build a whole new land for Tron.
Okay.
There was no base for it. They've got everything there for Tiana's Bayou. And I think because summer's slower, especially August and days in September, they're going to want to bring their crowds in more. So like they'll have a soft opening and be like, oh, it's going to open in October, but really that's August. So come on over. It's going to happen.
Okay.
It's going to happen. How about you? Any more predictions?
Well, I got I think one of the predictions, and this is pretty much, I think they've almost like confirmed that this is coming anyway, but right. It's that essentially we're going to have like the Fast Pass back.
Yes. So like Genie Plus.
But it's going to be right in, put into place. You're going to have like a 60-day advanced window or something where you could book your Genie Plus Lightning lanes in advance.
I think it's going to happen, but they just haven't even like thought about it. It's really weird.
Yeah,
it's really,
like they haven't. Like it has been mentioned that it was going to, but they haven't given any indication of when.
Right. Oh, that's a good one.
And I think maybe just with the first step being like the removal of the park reservation system, right?
Yeah.
So that was like the first thing. And then kind of, if you get people on fast passes and they're planning their days, it's essentially like a reservation system, right? Because all these people are Genie Plus in it, and now you know where they're going. It's kind of like a reservation in a way.
I like it.
Okay.
Well, I think they're going to keep Jollywood Nights, but it's going to get a revamp a little bit.
Okay.
As far as, you walk in, you're going to get a couple of free treats here and there. And I think you'll probably also, they need like more merch and something to draw people in a little bit more and more characters and lines. So it's going to get a revamp, but it's absolutely still going to be around. That's my prediction.
Okay.
What do you think? Do you think Jollywood Nights will still be around?
Yeah, I think they're going to. I think they are, but it definitely had tepid reviews, so they need to.
It did, and then it didn't help that like weather, and they had to cancel and things like that. It just kind of rubbed the salt in the wound. So hopefully they can restart and make it amazing next year.
Figure it all out.
Yeah,
absolutely. I didn't really have any more beyond. I have one more, but I'm going to say that to the end.
Okay.
So let's keep going with yours.
I'm happy to keep going. I mean, I can talk forever, but I know this is getting lengthy, so I'll try to be quick. Now, the Star Cruiser.
They haven't heard us in 2 weeks. They'll listen for at least 3 more hours. So we'll talk about it in detail, please.
The Star Cruiser, I think, is going to be
reopened,
a DVC.
Oh.
Which kind of turns my nose up. I don't know how they're going to make it a DVC. But I could see I could see it as if you really love this resort, so you would definitely invest in it.
So you're saying
as your home resort.
If you're down with DVC, you'll know Star Cruise Z.
And that's a prediction.
Okay.
I'm also predicting that they're going to come out with another annual pass for Walt Disney World. Right now, I think they're going to release an additional pass, but right now, what they have is a pass for individuals, like just one for outside of Florida. They have a ton of different kinds for if you're living in Florida. So the only one that you're able to purchase outside of a Florida resident is called the Incredipass, and it's for $14.49 plus tax.
Yeah.
Now this pass doesn't have any blackout dates, and so I think they're going to come up with a new one that's a little bit more budget friendly pass with blackout dates. So that would be things like you can't go during like the last 2 weeks of October or like President's Day or like Christmas week, things like that. That is kind of a bummer, but you know, if you want to go in the off times, it would be worth your while. So I think they're going to release a new one because it just generated so much buzz last year. And the fact that they didn't have any thing outside of this Incredipass was kind of like, oh, man.
Yeah, right. Hey, I'm all down with the blackouts and the off times.
So all in all, I think travel is going to be bigger than ever this year, which might blow your mind. I think it's going to be bigger than ever, but I think it's going to be smarter. And what I mean by that is this: everything has gotten more expensive everywhere.
Inflation.
So, yeah, Disney restaurants have seen an increase in pricing, and people are no longer reaching for the extra snacks at the kiosks in between meals. So a potential recession is on the horizon, and I can see travelers are weary. But, being at the top of this, being in this agency and leading all these agents, I'm still seeing a good amount of bookings. And I'm seeing that families are throwing caution to the wind and saying, if not now, then when? Right? When are we going to take our kids to Disney? They're the perfect age now. I don't want to wait, because if next year this recession has just floored us all, then we won't have gotten to go. And then they're going to be, 5 years older by the time everybody recovers. And then it's going to be too late and we've missed the memory. So they just feel like they might not have this opportunity later. So we're going to see an increase in budget travelers. And with things like Disney's free dining plan for Disney Plus subscribers, this is going to be amazing. People are going to take these kinds of discounts and run with it.
Okay.
So yeah, it was a genius idea to take those slower months and throw out a huge discount like this. So I even was speaking with my doctor today, who told me he was bringing his family to Disney, but also he decided to stay off site to save some money. So if even like doctors are saying, yeah, we're gonna kind of like, we stayed on site last time, it was great, just very expensive. Yeah. So, they're staying off site. So again, budget traveling, we're just figuring out how to still go and make it work for us. So, outside of Disney, we're seeing still the huge upswing in cruising. And that's because everything is included in that price. You know exactly what you're paying before you go. That's your meals and everything's included. If you've decided to have excursions, then, you would probably know how much that costs beforehand as well. And it's an activity where the younger 20s and your older 60s can enjoy it together. And then you can go back to your own little cabins and not speak to each other.
Well, the one thing you don't know is if Daddy's going to get his drink on.
That's true.
And how much that's going to cost. But yes, obviously,
that's
you
true.
can pretty much budget for that as well. So.
You can. And you should. But in any case, that's kind of my roundup for what I think is going to happen in 2024. We'll have to see throughout the year.
My last prediction is that now we have a trip tentatively scheduled for July.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
We don't?
No, we do.
Okay. I think we're going to have a second trip.
Yes. I think we will.
So my wild prediction is 3 trips.
3 trips?
3 trips.
Okay. I mean, do I tell you I was looking at flights today? I'm just saying.
3 trips.
Here is a funny add-on for today.
All right.
We had a listener request to hear the story of how we met. Now, I'm not going to go into details. I'm actually not going to tell the story.
We'll save it.
But I do want to tell our listeners out there that if you're looking for love, there is no shame in going to eHarmony.
Okay. I was like, and eHarmony is a new sponsor for the Disney Hour Express.
It's not. It's not at all. I'm just saying.
Yes.
That is how we initially met.
We will get to that one day. Maybe it's a Valentine's Day talk.
Maybe far down the line. Yeah. But in any case, thank you so much for coming back to 2024. And we can't wait to spend the year with you.
This has been a Family Travel Planner production.